Hello everybody, this is Reuben. I'm back again with another Reuben report, and today I'm making this video pretty much as like a follow-up to my MPG performance test that I did a little bit earlier. After doing a lot of research through the forums and some of you guys' feedback on the Facebook groups, I've pretty much come to the conclusion that there are lots of other different upgrades that I could consider to increase the fuel mileage on this bike. And so I wanted to share with you guys pretty much my plan to try to increase the fuel mileage. And I plan to also document and do tests for each little component potentially when they arrive. But just to give you guys a quick rundown on what's actually happening with the bike. So again, I've said this many times before, I'm 6'5", over 300 pounds. Generally, the people who ride this motorcycle, it is only a 250cc motorcycle, so it's not very powerful, and the majority of people who ride this motorcycle are somewhere in the area of 200 and below, maybe even 250 and below. So me being over 300 pounds, and generally when it's all loaded up and when I'm on it with my gear, it's usually around 370 pounds that it's carrying. So with the stock gearing, I think it's best suited for someone who is going to be a lot smaller. And just to give you guys a little demonstration of what I believe is happening, I'm going to use my bicycle as an example. Alright, I have my bicycle here just to give you guys a little example of what's most likely going on. Most of us have ridden bicycles before, and we know that when you set a bicycle in a lower gear, right, it's really easy to pedal. You pedal really fast, but you don't go very fast. But it's very easy for you to move the bike. When it's in a high gear, in a really high gear, it's a lot harder to move the pedals, but if you have enough strength and power and energy to overcome that resistance, you can achieve a much faster and much higher speed. And what I believe is happening, especially with the current gearing setup on the bike, it's kind of tall, or it's kind of high. So it is set up to have that potentially maximum speed for a certain type of rider, right? But when you're somebody who's as heavy as I am, it's a lot more resistance on the bike of what it's used to, and then on top of that, going up hills or doing anything relatively strenuous, you know, from stoplights, from a dead standstill. I mean, the bike has to use a lot more power to overcome that great resistance of a high gear. So just like with a bicycle, in order to pedal faster or to be able to pedal easier, just drop the gear down. And so that's what I'm going to be doing with the motorcycle, or what I plan to be doing with the motorcycle. I'm going to experiment with dropping the front sprocket down to a 13 tooth, and then I'm probably also going to experiment with doing the rear sprocket a 45 tooth. And reading forums, as far as top speed is concerned, that will potentially, I would lose maybe 5 miles to 6 miles an hour top speed in doing that. However, my main concern is wanting to ensure that the bike can pull the load that it's going to be having, and do so with a lot more ease. Because I wouldn't necessarily be riding on the highways to begin with, but in the event that I would have to do so, I would like to see at least 50 MPG or in the mid 50s instead of, 41. All right. The issue with getting these sprockets, though, for the front sprocket, I have tried to order one from CSC maybe almost a month ago, and they said they were out and they couldn't. It was going to be a couple months before they get in. I called them today, same story. But I was able to find one on eBay. I'll probably put a little picture of it up right now. All right, so that one on eBay, it's gonna get here within a month and a half. Went ahead and ordered it, and we'll see whenever it shows up. So that little upgrade is gonna be delayed. However, CSC does have the 45 tooth rear sprocket. So I ordered that, and along with some other things I'm gonna talk about in a second. That should be here within a couple of days. And with the 45 tooth rear sprocket, I should be able to use the stock chain still. And the stock chain, I'm going to probably replace the stock chain, or by the time that the front sprocket gets here, I'm probably going to have to replace the chain anyway. So we're already a little over 1,000 miles, so within a month and a half, I might be a little over 2,000, maybe even 3,000, and then I'll go ahead and replace the chain. So speaking about chains, that is also another upgrade that I went ahead and bought. I bought a DID O-ring chain for this bike as a replacement, which is also recommended. The next upgrade that was recommended was to upgrade the spark plug. And on CSC's website, they do sell the spark plug, but that one, I do not believe that it is an iridium spark plug. So if you guys want an iridium spark plug, I got this one here. If it'll focus. Okay. This is also an NGK spark plug. I found it at AutoZone, or you can find it at O'Reilly's. It's going to be part number right there, 7385. It's an NGK CR7EIX. I found that on the forums. That is the spark plug that you want if you want it to be an iridium spark plug. So that's also another upgrade that I'm going to be adding in. I still want to do the MPG tests with the stock gearing and with 91 octane. So I'm not going to put the spark plug in just yet. I'm going to just keep everything stock. My next video would probably be a MPG test sometime tomorrow or the next day, and we'll just see how the bike performs in its stock form with the 91 octane and the Lucas fuel additive. All right, so there's my little plan, upgrades that I have upcoming to hopefully solve this MPG issue. So you guys can stay tuned, and yeah, more updates to come. Peace out.